Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to turn the humble herring into the most amazing cold smoked kipper. Kipper's a very traditional dish and it's made by just back cutting a herring, flattening it out, brining it for a short period of time in a saltwater solution, patting it dry and then getting it into a cold smoker for around about 12 to 24 hours. Let's get into it. So what we've got here are some herrings from the supermarket. We're going to open these up and we are going to back cut these. And what I mean by back cutting is we're going to put the knife right the way down here, open it out flat, but without going through the belly cavity here. Once we've opened them out, we'll take the guts out and we will take the gills out as well, give them a quick rinse, and we'll get these in the brine. So, first things we need to do is get the brine going. So I've got 1.5 litres of water here and I've got 250 grams of salt. That goes straight into the put the salt straight into the water, and then what we'll do is we'll just dissolve this and come back to it in a second once that's dissolved. Right, so the brine's on the go. We'll come back to that occasionally and stir it. Let's get our kippers split open. So the first thing we want to do is put the knife in the back. I'm using quite a sharp knife here. And we want to go through, and you'll feel yourself go through the ribs. You can hear that. And we're just going to go through nice and gently. We don't want to pierce through. So we're opening that up. We're going to get into the gut cavity here. And the other thing we need to do also is to cut through the head. Now this can be a little bit tricky, so you need to take your life in your hands here and go through. And if the knife isn't going through like that one isn't, what you can do is get yourself a decent pair of scissors and literally cut the top of that head open like that. Leave the bottom jaw intact and just go through the top jaw like that. Okay, once you've done that, you can begin to see the fish opening up and it will start to look a little bit like a traditional kipper. There we go, we'll just flatten that up there. And you can see, once we flatten that off, we've got the guts intact in the centre. We can be quite clinical with these. We can just take them out from the back, gently pulling up all the guts up to the top. And we've got a bit of tissue paper to pop those on. Whilst we're here, we'll pull out all the gills. We don't need the gills. We detach those quite easily. There we go. Got a little bit of tissue paper. And that is one fish ready to go in the brine. So, we'll pop that in our bowl. We'll get the others done very quickly. Right, let's make sure this is all dissolved. That's all dissolved. We can then just pour this straight into here. This brine's going to do its thing for around about half an hour. We'll come back to this in 30 minutes. We'll take them out of the brine, we'll pat them dry, and we'll see what we need to do next. These are going to be in the brine for about 30 minutes. We'll come back to these. As soon as they're done, we'll take them out, we'll pat them dry with some nice clean towel so that they're not going to drip when we put them in the cold smoker. We're going to thread them onto these bamboo skewers. Ordinarily we'd pin them onto tenterhooks if we were doing this in a proper commercial size cold smoker, but we're going to do this in our cardboard smoker. So I've taken out the rack that we normally have in there, and between the two dowels that we have supporting the rack, I'm going to put this through the kipper, roughly just underneath its head, and then these will literally hang, and we'll have 3 of those, 1 for each of the herrings. We'll get them in there to smoke. Brilliant. Okay, the herrings have been brining for 30 minutes. That's done. They're here. So let me show you what the next process is. We're going to get some paper towels down because we need to dry these before they go in the smoker. I'm going to take them out the brine, and we will get these as dry as we can. We'll take off as much moisture. One thing we don't want while these are in the cold smoker is for them to start dripping everywhere. That's not the aim. We don't want that to happen, so we want to get these as dry as we possibly can. These are absolutely stunning, as I'm sure you would agree. So these are ready now to go into the cold smoker. I'm going to show you how I'm going to string these up. Oh, we've had a little bit of detachment there, that's okay, not a problem. Right, so when these go into the smoker, normally these are hooked onto what's called tenter hooks, and they're hooked about that position there. And that's the sort of position that I want to try and hook these on. So I'm going to go in from the back, right the way across, and then out in the same position. I'm going to move the skewer right the way through, and then I'm going to open them out like so, and that will sit in the smoker like that. I'll do the same with the others. Cheers, darling. Thank you very much for taking that away. We'll go in from the back and then out again there. Get those centred up, and they're ready to go into the cold smoker. I don't know why more people don't make their own kippers. You can buy them. They're very cheap to buy herrings. They're only, I mean, these cost just over £2. So, you know, not even $4. Very, very cheap. And these are North Atlantic herrings. They are in abundance. They are very healthy. There's no restrictions on catching these, so they actually are very, very popular fish. Not widely used in this country now. I mean, they used to be incredibly popular kippers, but they seem to be a bit more of a speciality now. I remember as a kid, we'd have kippers quite regularly, and they are absolutely brilliant. I love them. I'll show you how we cook these tomorrow, because I'm going to have one of these for breakfast. That's absolutely brilliant. Love it. I'm excited now. Right, I'm going to go and get the smoke generator loaded. I'll show you that now. So, like I said, we're going to use this cold smoke generator. and I'm going to use a mixture of beech and oak. So here's my beech, and I'm going full load on this, so we're going to be putting a full load in here, so I'm going to make equal amounts, and any shortfall I will top up with oak. Right, we'll get that all mixed together. And we'll load that into the cold smoker. So we'll light this. I'm not going to come back to this until the morning. This is going to go all night. Right, get a little bit of extra oak in there. I like using blends of wood, so sometimes I'll use beech and sweet chestnut. I tend to use beech as the wood that I mix with other woods, so it just gives you the opportunity of a very reliable burn, and the opportunity to get some other flavours in there as well. So the cheese we did with dried rosemary was absolutely stunning. That is a definite. You've got to do that. Okay. Making sure all the corners are full, that we are up to the top, that we've got no crossover between the maize, so we don't get a burn across. I'm going to light it here. It's going to run all the way around. This is going to give us between 8 to 12 hours. That's absolutely perfect. There is our metal tray. That's now going to go into the smoker. I'm going to take the camera outside in a second and show you how we're going to set these up with these in the cold smoker and this providing the smoke. Right, we're out in the garden. We're going to hang these kippers into the cardboard cold smoker, so let's crack on with that. We've got our kippers down here on the bench, and they're nice and stable. Perfect. So, smoke generator is going to go in the bottom. We're going to get a bit of heat in there, so there's going to be a little bit of cooking going on with these. Not a great deal, obviously, because we're only going to be up to about 30 degrees. I'll just pop the camera down. Let me just adjust it down onto here, and we'll get this lit. Let that burn a little bit. I don't know why I'm whispering. Okay, we'll just knock this flame out. There we go. Lovely. Right. So let's pop that down on the tray. Let's position this so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of a gap in the top here just to let some of the smoke out. We did get quite a bit of heat in the last time we smoked it, certainly with the cheese. Yes, there we go. Right. In go herrings, out come kippers. Yes, this is what we want. Let's have a look. You can just see their tails.
Can't wait to see these. I'll check on these later tonight. We'll come out and we'll come out with my head torch and we'll give it a go. See how they're getting on. Let's see how we're doing. It's very late at night. It's 11:30. As you can see, that's still smoking really nicely. Kippers are there. That's looking amazing. Beautiful. They're just bathing in that lovely smoke. Super. Well, it's the morning. Let's check this out. Oh my goodness, yes. Ah, look at that. So it hasn't burnt all the way, but look at that. That is a smoked kipper that could probably do with a bit more smoke. So let's have a look at the others. They don't look half bad, you know. Now, that obviously went out, and the reason for that is because I think there was a little bit of drippage off this one, which was directly over that. And if you look at the tail, you can see that had some drippage. There we go. We'll give this a go. Again, I think we'll load this up and relight it. Right, the Kippers have been smoking now for 24 hours. And I'm going to take them out of the smoker now. So, things have got very, very dark out here. So we're just going to take this tape off nice and carefully. Come around the other side. This is still smoking, look at this. Whoa. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful colour. We'll pop these. Oh, wow. Stunning. Right, let's get these inside. I'll just close this up and we'll let that do its thing. Alright, let's take these inside, see what they look like. Well, look at the colour on those. Absolutely sensational. Look at that. Cold smoked kippers, 24 hours. These are going to be my breakfast tomorrow. Well, here they are in the cold light of day. Beautiful looking kippers. Now, we're going to cook these for breakfast. And we've just got a pan of water here with a knob of butter in it. We're just warming this up to simmer. As soon as this is simmering, we're going to drop the kippers in for a couple of minutes. The way I do it is, as soon as it's simmering, I drop the kippers in and then immediately turn the heat off and leave them there for 2.5 minutes, and they're done. And I'm just going to make these with some poached eggs. Oh, can't wait. I haven't had kippers for ages, so let's try a little bit of this meat. Take the spine out. Oh my goodness, that's just as I imagined. I've got to say, this is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to shut up and eat this. See you on the next one.